Good afternoon, YouTubers. This is the Roaming Prepper, and I hope everyone out there is doing well tonight. It has been a bizarre couple of weeks, last few weeks, and I think everybody feels the pain the way I do. First and foremost, I'm going to set up my sound check, make sure people can hear me, and people can actually see me, which I see me. So let me make sure that everyone else sees me while I get my ducks in a row here. No pun intended. Stand by just a second as I get everything put together. So, got a little bit of an echo. Good deal. All right. Well, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. This is the Roaming Prepper, and now that I got that sound check out of the way, I want to start with some of the safety topic. I always like to start with something to make people safe. So I'm going to start there with this really bizarre situation over in the West Coast. So let's share that screen real quick. Hang on a second here, and there we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, well, right now not showing so much, but it is a California, because of the drought, and we've been mentioning it, a lot of us in the various channels, is basically on fire again. California has had a drought. They kind of changed the way they manage the wild areas, and lo and behold, it has resulted in significant fires. As you can see here, right now they're saying that more acreage has been burned thus far than was burned for the first half of all the fires during the election year. They had 8 days pushing 100 degrees. They're short on water. And as you can see in the video, they've got, one person called it a fire NATO. It's been really bad out there. Again, I reported, and a lot of other people did, the Colorado River's been low. The water table's been low. They're having a very bad drought in that part of the country. I physically went to the Hoover Dam myself back in May, and you could see the water was low. You know, as an engineer, I'm looking at this marvel of engineering, and I could tell that if the water was any lower, the turbines probably would not turn in the system. So it was pretty bad. The folks in California are struggling right now, but there's extreme heat everywhere. So ladies and gentlemen, it's really important, if you are traveling, check the condition. That's weird. Check the condition of your vehicle. Make sure you have gas. Obviously, there are fuel pricing issues right now, but make sure your vehicle is in good shape. You don't want to get caught on the side of the road in 100+ degree heat in an automobile. We saw that back in Hurricane Katrina. In Hurricane Harvey and Hurricane Rita, where people hit the road. They did not have enough gas and ultimately wound up getting stuck on the road. People died as a result of the heat, and they were caught in the middle of nowhere. Again, people who probably didn't prepare, hence why they were panicking and all caught on the highway. So first and foremost, still a lot of high heat. You've got a lot of storms on the East Coast, and you've got fire on the West Coast. Ironically, this part of Texas, which is normally pretty arid and hot, has been unseasonably rainy, and we have little frogs everywhere, which I guess there's worse things to have than little frogs. So I'm happy, but most of the rest of the country is not. So guys, safety topic, make sure your vehicles are in good shape. If you're going on vacation for the summer, you're going on road trips, whatever it may be, you don't want to get caught on the side of the road in an emergency if you can avoid it. So I'll stop on that one, and we'll move on to the next topic, Haiti. Those of you who are not aware, the president of Haiti this last weekend was actually assassinated. They Basically, the assassins made their way into the presidential residence, tried to kidnap the president, and it didn't work. So something happened. Something went very wrong, and they wound up killing the president, injuring the first lady. It makes you wonder exactly. Let me bring that up here. It makes you wonder where the hell his security was. How did the president of a small country not have security at his residence? So, long story short, the president was killed. The parliament had been disbanded because of a political dispute. And so they had just appointed a prime minister who's actually just settling in, and the president got killed. So they have a prime minister, they have the local governors, the commanders of the military, and the country has no leadership. It has no parliament. Essentially, it has no Congress. It would be like having the Speaker of the House and the Vice President, and everyone else either isn't elected or is dead. So the country's in shambles right now. Even more so, they did catch some of these people, and it turns out, and I'll share that right here. It turns out the assassins were, hold on a second there. There we go. The assassins were 25 Colombians. Then they dig further and found that they had been hired by an American paramilitary or military contractor to provide security for a Haitian who lived in the States, who was a multimillionaire or something like that. Oops, so here we go. Hey, Five Virgins, how are you today? Sorry, my chat got discombobulated on the side of the screen there. So basically, 26 Colombians were hired by an American subcontractor to provide security for some doctor who is Haitian, of Haitian descent, who lived in the U.S. But once this guy who hired them got in touch directly with the Colombians, he told them to kidnap the president, and they tried to, and they wound up killing him. So right now they've got 2 Americans, 26 Colombians, and now their FBI and Homeland are headed to Haiti to help them with the investigation. It sounds like somebody tried to commit a coup from the U.S., from Florida and from Virginia, to former Haitian nationals who are now U.S. citizens. And it went wrong, and they killed the president. So now they have gangs running the street. The military's fighting the gangs openly. According to this, CNN has obtained exclusive information about the hunt of the killers of President Moise, the banana exporter turned politician who was killed in a hail of gunfire in the bedroom of his private residence. The fact that the wife survived was really impressive, because apparently they had an automatic weapons fight in the second floor of this building. The mercenaries went in, they killed the president. So right now, Haiti's a bit of a mess. But again, there's an American military contractor, 26 Colombians, and 2 Haitian nationals here in the States who apparently were funding it. But they think there were more people funding it in the background. Now, what does this do for us? What does this do for people here in the U.S.? Well, Haiti, Cuba, all these islands are very close to Florida. They're off our southern coast, if you will. I don't know why they took his eye. That may have been evidence. If they're Colombian hitmen, you bring the head, you bring a hand, maybe they brought an eye. It could be voodoo. Santeria is very big in Colombia, especially among the cartels. It's very possible that they did that, and they brought the eye for whatever reason. But right now, the country was already struggling, and now they've got no leadership. They're asking the U.S. military to go there. And to be fair to the President Biden, I don't think he wants to do that. We're trying to get out of Afghanistan. And which also is a whole nother fiasco over there. We're trying to get out of Afghanistan and putting troops in Haiti. Probably not great. Now, unfortunately, the last time the UN went there, they didn't use proper sanitation. They were basically using the local rivers as a cesspool. And the UN troops who came from Africa, Angola, and certain other parts of the third world, if you will, they showed up. There were reports of rapes, abuse, and then on top of that, these guys did not use proper sanitations in the bases and created, I believe it was an outbreak of dysentery because of the bad conditions they left their camp in that then went downriver and affected the people. So Haiti's hesitant to have the UN. They're asking for the US to go. Yeah, that's going to be tough. I don't know how that's going to work out. Hopefully the FBI and the federal agencies that are going there to help can help stabilize them enough so they can take care of it themselves. But it's a bad deal. It's really a bit of a mess. And it's unfortunate. Haiti was just trying to recover from the hurricanes and storms they had previously. And they're struggling right now. So that brings me, speaking of countries struggling, to the next topic, Cuba. For those of you who don't know, for the first time in many years, there's been outright protests in the streets in Cuba. Now, you know, as much as I am a big fan of Cuba Libre, the truth of the matter is the government had just started cracking down on them. They gave them a couple of days to kind of get it out of their system, and then it didn't disperse. So now the troops are out there. They said they've got paramilitaries in civilian clothes pulling people out of their apartments, fighting. Part of the problem was they don't have their economy is garbage, and the coronavirus is running rampant through the country. Although the U.S. has embargoed them, the U.S. has not blocked Cuba from getting vaccines from other nations as needed, more on humanitarian grounds because it's in everyone's interest. But apparently that's not being distributed. The money is being put in people's pockets, and their people are pissed. So they went to the street, and I actually had a video, which I cannot find now, sadly, where they basically had burned a bunch of police cars in the streets. Right now, the internet has gone down. Mobile phone service is erratic. Some people actually have American phone plans in Cuba, which they could go to jail for, but they're able to somehow get signal from the States. Maybe they're using a sat phone. I don't know what they're doing. But they're saying there are police patrols on the corners, so the government is finally cracking down. Again, you have two countries just south of the U.S. coast that are suddenly becoming very unstable. What does that do? Well, when there's instability, it allows bad players, such as drug traffickers or even worse, terrorists, to come in and out basically unchallenged because there's no structure there to challenge them. There's nobody there to stop them. So this is something we need to watch. It's nothing we can do about it. But when these kind of things happen, the feds have to be doubly cautious on our coastline because, you know, again, the Colombian cartels would benefit greatly if Haiti's president was assassinated. Now the country's in chaos. They can traffic drugs through there, through Cuba. What you don't want is third countries, you know, other folks coming in with intent to commit terror attacks in the U.S. That would be kind of a mess. And, you know, unfortunately, we have a lot of Haitian, Cuban nationals here in the USA. So, and, you know, there's a lot of people here who want to see this get resolved. The best outcome for Cuba would be they have a reconciliation commission, as has been seen in other communist countries, where they ultimately reconcile with the people, create a new government, and start moving in a controlled way toward a more democratic or republic type government and not a communist regime. Unfortunately, they had Rafael Castro, Fidel Castro's younger brother, had gone to the parliament to talk to them. I don't know what came of it, but the people there are upset. They're tired. And we're hoping that, at least I'm hoping on behalf of all my friends from Cuba, that it gets resolved to the benefit of the people. I think Cuba could really, really use an influx of investment and modernization, but nobody's going to invest in the country as long as there's a regime like that in place. So, yeah, that's a good point. Of Five Virgins, it's hell world at time. People, I don't know what's going on. It's really bizarre to see all these weird things happen at once. So we also have something else happening in Venezuela, which is not great for the Venezuelan people either. So Maduro, the current president who replaced Chavez, who was the one who created the socialist revolution, his agents arrested the opposition leader and then surrounded another leader's house to prevent them from going out and basically campaigning. The regime arrested former opposition deputy Freddy Guevara on Monday, pulling him out of his car on the highway. They basically ran him off the road and pulled him out of his vehicle. In the meantime, other police surrounded the residence of Venezuelan opposition chief Juan Guaido, but they didn't detain him. They just kind of blocked him in. He spoke to journalists after the federal agents left and confirmed that his colleague had been forced off the road and taken out of the highway and arrested in the middle of the highway from his family. They basically just grabbed the guy out of the car and ran off with him. This is not uncommon for Venezuela. And again, my friends who are from Venezuela, some of whom are very close friends of mine, tell me, much like during the Cold War where the KGB supported the Cuban communist government, the Cubans have special or secret agents, secret service, their version of the KGB in Venezuela, helping the Venezuelan secret police. Some of them have told me that they are related to people who have been tortured and hurt by these agents. And the truth of the matter is, they're saying when we listen to them, their accent was not from Venezuela. It was a Cuban accent. They're very distinct accents. If you've been to Argentina and Venezuela and you've been to Cuba, it's a very different sounding Spanish from one another. And they said they were Cuban. There's no way a Venezuelan would have done certain things like torture to a fellow countryman. This is someone who has no stake in the country. Probably so. I'll tell you what, I always looked at the book of Revelations hypothetically, and, like something that would happen at some point, but it makes you wonder. I probably need to go back and reread it and study it a little more. Something is going on. Something is definitely not right. I mean, all these countries and all at once, and here's another one is, and I'll just flip over to that. So Mexico has gotten so bad, and this is from France24.com. This, I like to go and look at international news and see what their take is on stuff, because we don't get everything here. The avocado farmers have been getting victimized by the cartels, so now they've created their own militia, and they've bought black market firearms to protect their farms and their villages. So now you have the federales, you have the cartels who are fighting each other, and now you have these militias popping up, trying to protect their own homes from abuse and attack and whatnot. There's a lot of instability south of the U.S. all of a sudden. That's concerning me, because right now we have China making open threats against Taiwan. Japan has just released a white paper, their annual security paper, to the Parliament of Japan or the Congress of Japan. And in it, they specifically say for the first time since World War II that the security of Taiwan would be essential to Japan. Yeah, it may start somewhere. It's going to start somewhere. Not only that, the U.S. has had to tell China that if they continue to harass Philippine shipping and they get into it with the Philippines, we will honor a 1951 treaty to co-defend each other, which was what had been put in place actually before World War II. But the Filipinos and the Americans got their butts kicked by the Japanese early in World War II. And we had to go back and take them again. Oh, hey, Caribbean House. I'm glad you made it. Yeah, it's dinner time's tough. It's tough for me to kind of get everything done and jump on here. So I feel everyone's pain, but I'm glad you popped in. Thank you. There's a lot of instability with China. Russia's doing Putin things because that's what he does. And now all of a sudden, somebody assassinates the Haitian president. There's riots in Cuba. It's almost as if they're trying to take our attention away from the international scene to look at what's out in the Caribbean. Oh, you're still working. Oh, well, don't get in trouble at work, man. Please, you can. I don't want anyone getting fired or written up or anything. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough to really see. There's so much noise going on. It's tough to see what's really going on in the background. So, and even Guatemala. Oh, not that. Sorry. I didn't know this. I found this out earlier today. Guatemala has protests, partly due to the economy, partly due to displeasure with the pandemic, delays of the vaccine, being forced to take the vaccine. Basically, all of a sudden, for whatever reason, it seems like South America, all our neighbors to the south in the Caribbean and South America are all of a sudden in shambles, and they're struggling all at once. Now it will. Hey, Patriot Sandwich Maker, I'm glad you made it. By the way, she's just put out a video, pinball preparedness. For those of you who follow him or know him, just put out his backup channel. I don't know. I didn't get to see the whole video because work called me, but I'm assuming he got dinged by the tube. So he's kind of setting up a second channel. So go see her little video from earlier today, and the link for pinball is in there somewhere, which a lot of us have had to do because we say things that somebody doesn't like, and so we have Rumble accounts, which I do, or they have 2 YouTubes or something like that. So this kind of stuff, when you get this kind of instability, he did get dinged. Well, that sucks. There was that last video, he did like 2 in the last few days, and I watched most of them, and I was sitting there going, oh, he's gonna get the so I guess he got the X after all. A lot of these countries in South America are importing to us. He's going live in 8 minutes, so wow. He did get the numbers up fast. When did he start that channel? Because yeah, go check his out. He said some things, and when a lot of us were listening, we were like, he's gonna get dinged. And he even said it, I think. No kidding. I'd be happy to make 200. I would be so thrilled. But I started it this morning. But well, he has a big following too. So once the announcements went out, it kind of, it moved pretty quick. Yeah, 35,000 subs. Right now, I think the only person who's passed 500,000 is, well, Canadian did. Did AP pass 100 yet? I thought he did. I know. Well, if we keep if we keep making fun videos, Sandwich Maker, we're good. Sandwich, we're definitely gonna pass that. I'd be thrilled. But yeah, they're dinging a lot of folks. So, and again, it's because we say things, and they're like, you can't say that because the Tube's commissars don't like that, so they smack us on the head. Um, I'm surprised AP doesn't, because I watch him just to hear him go off on people. I'll be in tears sometimes. My wife will walk up and go like, "What's so funny?" I'm like, he's just cursing at people, and it's hysterical. I grew up there, so hearing that old school New York cursing phenomenon when you just lose your biscuits and say a bunch of bad words is kind of funny. Um, but these instabilities in South America are going to affect imports. And Five Virgins, I have 6. Well, now we'll all right. Anybody who hasn't subscribed to Five Virgins, so we can get some more there. But it's this instability is bad because what I'd hate to see is our troops getting tangled in South America. And it makes me wonder why. Oh yeah, you better. Hey, Northern Girl. Oh yeah, you better go for. But thanks for checking in. Okay, Northern Girl is the queen of multitasking. Like, she'll be putting videos up and doing something and be on a chat, and it's like, how did you do all that? And it's just ninja skills. So, uh, oh, cool. Iridium just went above 100K. I'm glad to see more people paying attention. And I don't think it's the same group of people subscribing to all of us. I think we're actually, as a preparedness community, um, growing a following where people are paying attention to us, which is refreshing. It's kind of exciting. I may have to switch the time on my Tuesdays, and it might even be earlier, to be honest. Might be a lunchtime Tuesday talk show. Because we have a lot of the big channels pop in on Tuesdays, and I want to watch them too. So, but in any case, yeah, follow Northern Girl too. She does all sorts of cool stuff. Actually, you know what? After your last video, I tried to, Northern Girl, I tried to use one of those cheap fire starters just to see if it worked. And I couldn't even make sparks with it, so it went to the trash. I'm like, I had a good one. I can't find it now, so I'm kind of salty about that. But yeah, if you have fire starters, practice with them, because that would be a good thing. Yeah, no, Tuesdays is a tough day, and that's why I do mine early. But I like to cook on Tuesdays. And for the record, today's recipe was sauteed salmon in olive oil. I made scratch artisan bread and baked broccoli with Parmesan and Italian seasoning on it. So it's really good. So then I was kind of falling asleep on the couch. I'm like, I got to get up or else I'm going to be asleep on my video. I did get contacted by Heroic Prepper over on the East Coast, and he's saying chicken out there. And this is where I was going with this. A lot of these government disruptions, yeah, a lot of people are finally waking up. A lot of these instabilities are going to affect our supply chain. So a lot of us have been talking about, oh, supply chain prices, food. The good news is the price of lumber has finally dropped by almost 50%, because people stopped doing home improvement and they started going out and spending money in restaurants because stuff opened up. And then the lumber yards are finally catching up with personnel and production. So it's starting to even out. So if you're going to do a home improvement, do it in the next few months because the price of lumber came down. Unfortunately, OPEC did not come to an agreement again. So oil is now $75, and gasoline, diesel, propane, butane are all derivatives of petroleum. Not to be confused with natural gas, which is methane, which is what you're burning in your stovetop. So an AP has 98.5. Ooh, they're almost both at 100. To be honest with you, I have a lot of friends from Cuba, and my dad, God rest his soul, he was still pissed about the Bay of Pigs. We're not Cuban, we're Puerto Rican, but he was still pissed. Hey, Patriot, we'll see you later. Um, but in any case, guys, you're still going to see these disruptions. So look for those deals. I've put a lot of small videos on ways to save money. Look for the coupons. If you haven't couponed, try to do it. If you can, if you have a local farmers market, you can find those local sources. So you shorten those supply chains, because if you can get your meat or your farm goods and your produce within your region, you kind of are less affected by something going on in the ocean. You know what I mean? So try to bring them back. Again, everything I cooked today actually was from long-term preps. It was either frozen, dehydrated, or made from dry goods. So, and my father was from Cuomo. So, but I grew up in the States. So yeah, I'm a New Yorican, I guess, or Texarican now. Uh, but this, by all means, this kind of stuff will destabilize markets. Uh, don't let that get to you. Just stay focused. Look for those sales. Look for where you can make deals. And again, like I said on my other Saturday stream, if you can partner up with someone and make a big Costco buy, talk to the manager. Because if you tell the manager of a Costco, hey, we want to order a pallet of something, and you guys Venmo one person and that person pays, uh, they'll actually order. Because I know somebody somewhere else in Texas did this. They had four families order a pallet of water bottles, you know, the stupid Sam's water bottles. And they went to the manager and said, we want to order the whole pallet through him. So they didn't have to pay shipping because it came on his flatbed or his supply truck. And the guy just called him and they forklifted the pallet out. And then the four families came and divvied up and off they went. So, take advantage of some of this kind of stuff if you can. But, and if you can grow it yourself, that definitely is even better. But there's a lot of instability, like I said, down in South America. It's really weird because it kind of came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting. Cuba was notorious because, again, we had a lot of Cuban friends for shooting protesters, much the same way Venezuela did when they were running people over with armored cars a couple of years ago. And the fact that the people are out in the street actually burning the police cars is because they're pissed. And yeah, rabbit. I've always wanted to have rabbits, but I have corgis, and corgis like to chase and kill rabbits. So I haven't figured out exactly how to reconcile that without having dead rabbits or traumatized rabbits. Take your pick. Actually, my corgi was banned because she became Viking dog and tore up part of the kitchen, so she got run off. And once again, yeah, we'll connect more. We're gonna go and talk a little more. I got some friends from Venezuela and Cuba I'm gonna reach out to and see if they're hearing anything from the other side of the fence, so to say, what's going on down there. Again, those kind of instabilities not only affect markets, but it allows bad players to move through nation states undetected. And it's something the government or feds need to keep an eye on, because you don't want someone sneaking through Cuba or through Haiti and bringing a dirty bomb into Miami. They couldn't find Five Virgins. What's your? Let me see if I can find that. Let me see if I can find the link for hers. Hold on a second here. For that one, Parable of 10 Virgins. That's not what I wanted. No, I found all sorts of stuff that has nothing to do. Precision rifle reloading. I am a nobody. You're not a nobody. You're one of us. In our little world, we're trying to wake everyone up and make them pay attention, but they they may or may not be listening. Although it seems, based on the numbers you guys all posted, it seems like a lot of people are paying attention now, which is a good thing. So, which is exciting. So, yeah, no, that you're right, Northern Girl. She shouldn't. You shouldn't say you're a nobody. No, no problem. That was all I was going to cover. This was going to be kind of a short video today, but a lot of instability South America, a lot of instability in the Caribbean. We have a lot of things going on right outside our border, and it could just be coincidence, but Guatemala, Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, all at the same time, the same week, just as China's making threats against Taiwan. It's almost like they're trying to drag us into something, stretch our guys out too thin. I don't know. Hopefully not. Hopefully it's just a weird coincidence, but I don't know, I'm a little bit of a skeptic on that one. But folks, oil and gas will continue to go up for a few months, although some of the specialists and the experts are saying it'll kind of level off at the end of the year. So we're going to feel a little pain during the summer vacation. Hopefully toward the fall, we're going to see those oil and gas prices come down as everything levels off. Lumber has come back down. That's good news. So if you've got some work to do with wood, yeah, well, something's happening. At the very least, Five Virgins, we're witnessing amazing historical times that we can tell the ones that come after us about, and tell them, I was there when this happened. I saw this firsthand. Assuming, as long as it doesn't lead to the zombie apocalypse, in which case nobody wants that. But yeah, a lot of people Papa Prepper even put out a video, and he said that he was weary, he was tired. A lot of folks, when you're constantly trying to watch and see what's going on, it can become overwhelming. The way I look at it, and I guess that's the engineer in me, it's always something new to do. There's always something new and exciting happening. So you could look at it like that. Although, yeah, it can be exhausting too. But in any case, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm going to wrap it up a little early today. I got a couple of contracts I got to work on in the morning, so I probably need to settle down for the evening. Until next time, you guys, Godspeed if you're on the road. Be safe, stay blessed, and help someone out if you can. And those of you who want to reach out on me, it's theroamingprepper@gmail.com. If you have any questions or you need a link to one of the articles, feel free to hit me up, and I will be happy to send it your way. Until next time, you guys, be safe, take care of yourselves, and try not to get into trouble with the Cossacks on the tube. Take care. I'll see you all Saturday, and I will be premiering another video every Thursday. Is my technical videos come out every Thursday at 7. These are usually pre-recorded, although I will chat with you guys. I started my tactical series last week, and in a couple of weeks, the second video of the tactical series, which is how to choose the best firearm for you, will come out. We got a couple other equipment tests I've done. A few equipment fails are coming up. So I've got a lot of videos coming out on Thursdays at 7. And I try to time them so I don't get smushed by the really big channels, because I'm coming in kind of like right under them before they pop up. But in any case, guys, take care of yourselves and be safe out there. I'll see you next week.